How's it going, YouTube? So, I was watching the Pride parade before in London. I was watching Correct Not Political, and on his channel he has this guy called Patrick. He's a bit of a weirdo, little left-wing guy, but he kept saying, what's the point in following Jesus? So I thought I'd go through one or two things. Now, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, and it comes before a fall, because of all the things that God's hate, pride is the one they hate the most. So if you go around acting proud, the gods will come and destroy you. So, pride being one of the 7 deadly sins, I thought I'd go through the 7 deadly sins, because every action has an opposite, and pride has an opposite. Like, everybody knows what being proud is. You have a big ego, you know, you're happy to tell people what you've done. It's always a competition to see who's done the best, done the biggest. But the opposite of pride is being humble. It's humility. And they're trying to teach our kids to be proud, boastful. Like, why would I try and teach my children about 7 deadly sins? Why would I teach them the opposite of being humble? Who in the sane fucking mind, Patrick, would argue against being humble? Who? Why? What sort of lesson is that to pass on to children? To be proud? I'm very sorry, but it's the opposite. It's an inversion of what's right. I don't care whether you're fucking gay or not. If you're gay, you should be humble as well. You should teach children to be humble, not proud. Now, the other 7 deadly sins: wrath, envy, sloth, greed, gluttony and lust. Now I'm going to start with wrath. The uncontrollable need for revenge, usually done in anger. Now, this is where Jesus comes into it. There isn't any of Jesus' teachings that are not in these opposites to the 7 deadly sins. What is the opposite of wrath? Well, it's forgiveness. It's to turn the other cheek. Don't seek revenge. If you seek revenge, eye for an eye leaves everybody blind, and you're allowing your pride and your honour and all that bullshit to cloud your judgment. Forgiveness is the opposite of wrath, and wrath is one of the 7 deadly sins. And we all know Jesus spoke about forgiveness and the need to turn the other cheek. I mean, I want to get into heaven, me. So I'm trying to add these to my life. The opposite of the 7 deadly sins should be a way of life. Forgiveness is better than revenge. It is of a higher power. Another one is envy. And envy is jealousy. Now, if you're jealous, you look at other people's things and their achievements and the stuff they have managed to amass, and you feel envious, jealous. You want it for yourself. What you have is not good enough. But the opposite of envy is contentment. So just be happy with what you have. There is no need to cover other people's stuff. If you truly want things that other people have, go and work for it. Go and get it. Don't sit there being envious of other people. Be content in what you have. I'm bad with this one. Sloth, being lazy, being slow, putting things off, doing things later or tomorrow. One of the 7 deadly sins is to be sloth-like. And what's the opposite of being sloth-like? It's action. Be active. Do stuff. Don't be lazy. How is that a bad teaching? How could anybody disagree with that? Being lazy is worse than not being lazy. Being active is better than being lazy. Not putting things off, just getting on with them. Doing them, that is better than being lazy. The next one is greed. Being selfish, wanting more than you need, not sharing with others. What is the opposite of greed? Well, it's to be selfless. It's to share what you have and to take what you need. Only. Why would you need more than what you need? Why would you want more than what you need? Being greedy leaves other people without. Think of other people. Share the stuff that you have. You don't need to go and hide it all in a tree like a squirrel, squirreling it away. As long as you've got enough, you have a little bit for a rainy day. What more do you need? Some people want to own the whole fucking world. They see Andrew Tate with his Bugatti. What colour's your Bugatti? Don't know. I haven't fucking got one. Don't need one. I've got a car. I don't need to have a flamboyant car. I can just have the car that I have. Anything else is being greedy. The next one is gluttony. Overindulgence. People overconsume. And it's not just with food. You know, I smoke a lot and I shouldn't. It's so gluttonous. I overindulge in it. So really, the opposite of gluttony is to eat less, smoke less, eat slower. You stuff your face with food, you can't get it in quick enough. Eat things that you don't like. If you're just eating things that you like all the time, then, you know, you get gluttonous with it. You can't stuff it in your fucking mouth quick enough. Do things that you don't like. The last one, and this is killing us. This sin is killing us so badly. They have corrupted our children with this one. Our children now walk around with this sin. And it is lust. Sexual desire. Now, I don't know who decided to teach sexual desire to our fucking children, but it is on the list of 7 deadly sins. Now, sexual desire, we're all afflicted with this sin. It is very hard, we're pre-programmed to fuck. But we're above the animals, we're not beasts. We can have clean thoughts. Women, you bunch of cunts, you lot have all sexualised yourself. It's very hard for a man to walk down the street now and not desire the fucking women that are walking down the street. You look like a bunch of strippers. The only way that I can get past it is to just not look at you, not give you any attention whatsoever. I divert my eyes. You should cover your body. You shouldn't put us in that situation because it makes us lustful. You seek our lustfulness, and you all say you don't, blah blah blah. You shouldn't fucking be looking. Bullshit. You're all lying to us, to yourselves. You You want our sexual desires. You want to be looked upon as if you are a sexual object. You are sexualizing yourselves, and we are struggling to not lust after you. It's never been like this in history, ever. Don't give me that shit about the Greeks and the Romans. They used to cover themselves up. Women were conservative back then. They weren't fucking walking around like whores. I'm trying my hardest to have clean thoughts, but how the fuck am I supposed to do that when you're wearing a TikTok suit on the fucking street? If you put the 7 deadly sins and their opposites into your life, so if you do the opposite of the 7 deadly sins, then we would have a great country. The world would be a great place. But instead, we are all proud. We are all wrathful. We are all envious. We are all lazy. We are all greedy. We are all gluttonous. And we are all lustful. And anybody who's trying to tell us we should be these things, well, they are the bad people. They are the evil ones. You shall know them by their fruits. Jesus Christ had every single one of these 7 sins on lockdown. He acted his life out in the opposite way to them. He was the only man to never commit a sin. And it's because of this he followed the 10 commandments, did the opposite of the 7 deadly sins. We as a nation should teach our children this. We should not teach our children pride. Anybody who wants us to teach our children to be proud, they are evil.